Hey everybody, welcome to another 3-minute clip on highly skilled and deeply formed. And today I want to talk about empowering leaders versus instructing followers. I think one of the greatest skills that we can learn is to develop leaders. This is not as easy as it sounds, as we all know. Leaders are not developed by giving them tasks, but they develop by giving them ownership. I remember a few years ago speaking to our staff because I'd noticed a trend beginning to happen. And this is how it happened. We had a bunch of guys that used to work as volunteers in the parking lot, and they'd been working in the parking lot for many years. And remember the one day one of the guys came up with a great idea. And so he took that idea and he gave it to the team leader. The team leader then gave it to one of the coordinators who then passed it on to a staff member. Well, that staff member brought it to us, and we spent the next hour during the week debating and discussing and pulling it apart and giving all our thoughts and inputs, and then making a decision and passing it back down the leadership pipeline. The problem is that we hadn't been involved in the parking lot for years, yet we were trying to make all the decisions at the top when actually we weren't noticing what was happening on the bottom. This is called bureaucracy, and bureaucracy will never develop leaders. And so one of the keys to leadership development is pushing decision-making down the pipeline of the levels of leadership and not up. We need to learn how to equip and empower people further down and not keep all of the decision-making higher up. So how do we do this? 3 ways: equip, empower, and engage. All of this is found in Exodus chapter 18. I'm not going to read the whole passage. We all know the story of Moses as the task became too difficult. And so he's given some advice on how to develop levels of leadership. But I want to just show you how those 3 words all fit into this passage. The first thing we need to do is to equip. Verse 20 of Exodus chapter 18 says this: teach them his decrees and instructions and show them the way that they are to live and how they are to behave. Notice the first thing: teach and show. This is all about equipping. If we want to develop leaders, we need to train people. So often the way that we train, we give people a piece of paper and we say, off you go. No, we need to spend more time being intentional about training and developing people if we want to equip them for leadership. The second thing we need to do is to empower. Verse 21 says, select capable men from all people, men who fear God, trustworthy men who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials. So we need to empower. We need to select capable people and appoint them. We empower people. When we empower people, we need to define the parameters of decision-making for them and define the levels of leadership. In other words, on each level of leadership, what are we empowering them to do? Or is it just that everybody thinks that they're doing the same thing? No, we need to have clear levels of leadership and clear parameters of empowerment so that we keep pushing leadership down. The last thing is to engage. Verse 26 says, the difficult cases they brought to Moses, but the simple ones they decided themselves. So they could bring the difficult things to Moses, but they were empowered to answer the more simple things themselves. Engagement is about feedback. We need to get feedback so that we can keep equipping and keep empowering. God bless.